Hello, welcome to another Fighting Fantasy Friday. In this, we're going to look at Warlock magazine, issue 1. I guess the first question is, what is Warlock magazine? Well, it was a magazine dedicated to the Fighting Fantasy games. Now, I never got hold of this originally because it came out in 1984, and I don't think I got into Fighting Fantasy until about 86, 87, so it was long since published when I first got into it, and you didn't have the internet back then to get hold of things and so forth. But over the years, I've really wanted to have a look at the magazines, but never got hold of them. But I found them on PDF, so I thought we could have a quick look now. This is the cover for issue 1, volume 1, number 1, quarterly. So that's every, what, 4 months? 3 months even. So yeah, this is what the cover looks like for issue 1. Let's have a look. We got cash prizes for your own Fighting Fantasy adventures. That'd been cool because later on I did start writing my own. Monsters from the Pit, Secrets of Mapping, Alenzia, the Fighting Fantasy Kingdom, a new quest in the Warlock Firetop Mountain adventure, part 1. Well, that's interesting. So let's have a look at the next page. So the next page is just, I guess it's on the inside cover, advert for Talisman. This looks like first edition because I've got second edition and fourth edition. I love Talisman. Oh, it was only $7.95 back then. I think second edition was about $14.95, but so double in price. Yeah, I love Talisman. I might even cover that on the channel at some point. Next up is the contents with a Dear Adventurer intro bit from the men themselves, Ian Livingstone and Steve Jackson. Looking quite young there, but didn't we all back then? I mean, crumbs, when this came out in 1984, I was 8, so I looked very young. When we first came up with the idea of putting an adventure game into book format, little did we know we'd start a whole new craze. The Warlock Firetop Mountain, the original Fighting Fantasy game book, is now published in 5 countries and has been specially revised and serialised into 2 parts for inclusion in this Warlock magazine. Part 2 appears in the next issue. For those unfamiliar with Fighting Fantasy, imagine yourself plunged into a world of monsters and magic. Think what it would be like walking down a dark dungeon corridor with walls dripping with slime, to be suddenly confronted with a 2-headed troll armed with a stone club. What would you do? In the world of Fighting Fantasy, you make the decisions. You are the hero. Now, Fighting Fantasy has its own magazine through which its world can develop. Each issue of Warlock will bring you information, news, new monsters, readers' letters and competition. So we hope that Fighting Fantasy game system will evolve with the readers' suggestions and ideas. We're here to put into print your monsters, spells, objects, artifacts, magic items and special abilities for different types of adventurer and additions to the rules. We welcome you to the start of a fantastic journey. May your stamina never fail. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I like that. Not going to read every single word of this, but if you want to read it yourself, I guess you can pause it, I guess, and have a look. So let's have a look at the first article, which is One Step Beyond. You can tell this came out in the early 80s, reference to Madness, I would imagine. Yeah, so this is the origins of Fighting Fantasy. So I kind of wish I had this, I read this, when I did my What is Fighting Fantasy video, which turned into a mini documentary. This information would have been quite useful. Artwork's quite groovy around it. I like all that. Interestingly, when you read this, it sort of goes into more D&D and role playing. It explains that first before it moves on to explaining what Fighting Fantasy is. So come here, you'll see this is all about here, but it's here, expanding role playing games. You see here, it's mainly talking about, I guess they were quite popular and Fighting Fantasy was just getting going back then, so it needed to tell you what they are to explain what Fighting Fantasy is. But it talks about the game books here on how to begin. Lovely little Minotaur art there. Yeah, if I don't think next to it is either Dungeon. Yeah, so it's sort of saying that's quite nice. So, companies don't do this nowadays where they sort of promote other companies. But I guess, I'm trying to think at that time, did they still own Games Workshop? I guess they did, and they were selling D&D, so And it says here, following on from the game books, the next step is either Dungeons and Dragons or RuneQuest for fantasy adventures, or Traveller for science fiction. So it's kind of, if you're into fighting fantasy, but you want to take it to the next level, it's sort of helping you out here. That would have been quite useful. Ah, the map of Valansia. So this is spread over 2 pages, so I'm going to flip between them. You see here, just to give you a bit of a spatial awareness of where all the adventures take place. So number 1 is Firetop Mountain. So you can see here, number 1, the Warlock Firetop Mountain. Beneath an ancient mountain, a mighty wizard rules a labyrinth of hideous creatures. You will find the keys to open his. Will you find the keys to open his fabled treasure chest, or will you die a gruesome death? Well, I faced a gruesome death many times. So number 2 is going to be, the Black Tower on Kraken Rock down the bottom right there. So that is Citadel Chaos. The evil sorcerer Balfrost Dire is plotting to attack a peaceful Val. Dare you enter his guarded citadel to stop him? Risk your life against the creatures that await you. I did many times and died many times. Oh, this is brilliant. I wish I had this back in the day. 3 is going to be Darkwood Forest, isn't it? The Forest of Doom. The dwarves of Stonebridge are threatened by trolls, but need their legendary warhammer to rally them. In a desperate race against time, will you find the missing hammer in the eerie depths of Darkwood Forest? And I did. Port Blacksand, obviously next. City of Thieves. Where in Port Blacksand, somewhere in Port Blacksand, I'm going to have to flip between 2 pages, a wizard lives a life of solitude. Only he can help you defeat Zanbar Bone and end the reign of terror. But will you find him, or will you fall to the thieves, vagabonds and creatures of the night? Okay, that's for number 5. Where's number 5? Number 5, Fang. So that's going to be Death Trap Dungeon, isn't it? Here it is. Reward and honour awaits any brave warrior willing to enter the Trial of Champions, which was also the sequel to the book. A journey through a perilous dungeon designed by a sadistic baron awaits all challengers. Will you be the first person to come out of its dark depths alive? Yes. Now, that's number 5. So number 6 is going to be back on this page, which is Fire Island, which is, the island of the Lizard King. Gold mines run on slave labour by an insane lizard man and his vicious guards. Takes you to a... Guards take you to a strange island. Jungle swamps and giant creatures must be overcome to reach the Lizard King. But is he invisible? Oh. So yeah, that's quite good. I like that little... so just give you where things take place if you read the first few game books. Next up, Out of the Pit. Now these are new monsters. What we've got here, we've got a Sentinel. Got 2 types, Gem Sentinel and Metal Sentinel. Wow, look at that skill, 11 and 12 respectively, and Stamina 9 and 12 respectively. They are some tough Sentinels. What are you guarding? It was Baron Cagney or Campon. I guess if you wanted to, you could use these if you played Advanced Fighting Fantasy, the role-playing game. You can include these in your adventures, or if you're writing your own games, include these if you want to give your players a challenge. So let's have a read. In each issue, you'll be featuring a selection of new monsters which appear in future Fighting Fantasy game books. Oh, I don't remember these 2 in any books. Could be wrong. The 4 described in this issue have been created by Ian Livingston for you to include in adventures you design yourself. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You may want to substitute some of these monsters for those in the existing books when playing the 2-player version, i.e. one player reading out the options and rolling dice for the monsters while the other person makes a decision to make an adventure. That's cool. So Birdman, he's another high skilled dude with 12, Stamina 8. So 4 good hits should take him down, but with that skill, ouch. What else we got? Messenger of Death. Oh, I like that art. Skill 7, Stamina 8. I like him. And what's the other one? Earth Demon. Bloody hell. Skill 12, Stamina 5. That's a boss monster. And then we have a competition here, which I would imagine don't enter it because can't arrive later than the 31st of May 1984. And unless you're Doctor Who and got a TARDIS, you're not. It's too late for that. Overseas entries will be accepted until the 31st of October 1984. I remember that Halloween. That was a good Halloween. I remember that one. I was in Gosport for that one. How to map. Yeah, this kind of would be a useful article. I do my mapping slightly different. I do it using nodes, so a little square, and I write the page number in, and then just have lines coming off to tell me which directions to go, and write any relevant information on there, just to keep track. But this is a good one. This is like proper mapping. One's very abstract, whereas this is giving you a proper layout of it. So this could be quite useful. Excuse me. Yeah, so some graph paper, and I believe next page is some graph paper, and that there at the bottom is the beginning of the quest, including this book, which is Warlock Firetop Mountain, which I believe, we're going back to the contents, does it mention Warlock competition, Warlock farms? I think it mentioned somewhere in this that the actual Warlock Firetop Mountain here, which is over 2 parts, is slightly different to the one in the main book. So that's kind of interesting. So here we go. This explains the rules. So if you've got any fighting fantasy book, you would understand this. So and I think this is a bit where it explains. Warlock Firetop Mountain is it explains that it's slightly different. I trailed off my sentence mid-sentence. Terrible. The Warlock Firetop Mountain is an adventure with a difference. Before starting, you need 2 dice. Yada yada yada. So you're going through everything. No part novel. If you've the last paragraph here on the top. If you already have the Warlock Firetop Mountain book, you have a surprising story. You will find this 2-part adventure has been changed, which means you will have to plan your route differently to succeed in this version. Now the rest of it here is just the bog standard rules explained again, which you all know and love as fighting fantasy players. Here we go, hints on play. Yep, that's always the same. There's only one true way through. Yep. And some new artwork for it there. Warlock Firetop Mountain Part 1. Looks good. You got the adventure sheet included in here. A bit more artwork on it, which you don't normally get like that. Some backgrounds here. I'm not going to read all this because if you want to play this yourself, we'll just skip through the pages and you can pause and play it yourself. So this is pretty much going to be pretty much the same background. The actual general story is the same. That's lovely, isn't it? Look at that. Lovely bit of art. Yeah, gotta enjoy that. So here we are. So I believe all the numbers you need to play this bit are in this part, so you don't need to wait to get part 2 to get through this first bit. If you remember Warlock Firetop Mountain, there is a distinct halfway break. So I believe this book was written by both Ian Livingstone and Steve Jackson, and I think one wrote the first part and the second person wrote the second part, and you can tell there's a distinct break. So I'm imagining that break is where this magazine is going to hold off. So here we go, there's the parts. I'm going to go through a little bit here. I don't have the book handy, so I can't see if the numbers are going to be the same. We turn west or east, so that's what you're getting in the going back here to the graph. So you got here, you got the entrance, and then you got left or right bit at the bottom there. So that's that. So yeah, if you want to play this new version, or say old new version that's slightly different yourself, you can pause it and have a read. Just going to go through. I think the art's the same as what's appeared before here. This bit of the art, I recognise this. Creature you are number 60. The creature you are facing is a vampire. Grr. Anything achieving? Remember that room? I remember him. Snoozy York. Yeah. This would have been really cool back in the day. I still might try and get hold of physical copies of this. It's always good. I'm a bit of a physical copy kind of person. Still buy things on DVD and Blu-ray and CD. And love a book. Zombie with scythe, zombie with pick, zombie with axe. So we go there. How many parts are this? I'm going to go too quick. Oh, I love that zombie picture. That was amazing. There's our zombies with pick, axe and whatnot. So evocative that. Some stuff on the table. Will you take the bronze helmet, the iron helmet, or return to the junction? Ooh, choices. Ooh, look at that thing. Ooh. Yeah, so it looks like it's got all the art with it as well. So for 95p, you're getting a bargain here, you're getting an adventure. Well, I suppose it'll be 180, 190, 190 by the time I bought both issues. Yeah, so where's it split off? Oh, I was expecting it to split off at 200, but it's not, it's going a bit further. Oh, look at that. I wish I could buy some of these. I suppose I can print them off, can I? Put them on my wall. Alright, so we've got spiders, bats. The giver of sleep to those who never can. Ooh. Here we go, competition, fantastic adventure. So it ends at 273. And now on to the competition, which we can't enter anymore, but people would have done. Prize winners will be contacted by post night out on 30th of June 1984. Wow. God. Blimey, takes me back. So, yeah, number 10 entries will be sent to Warlock Competition, Penguin Books Limited, 536 Kings Road, London, Southwest 10, 0UH, England. Don't write into that. I don't think they'll appreciate it. And that's it. That's the back cover now. Well, almost back cover. This is an advert for the Fighting Fantasy books that are released at the time. This time they didn't even have the green zigzag cover. They were the star covers. So yeah, and that's the back cover here with an advert for Steve Jackson's Sorcery. So that is our first look at Warlock issue 1. I'm probably going to do these every month unless there's high demand for them. Just a bit of fun look. I think it's 13, so year 13 months, I guess. Looking at them, got this to look forward to. I might do a few more often, but who knows. But that's it for this Fighting Fantasy Friday. Please do like this video if you've enjoyed it, and share it to let other Fighting Fantasy fans know of this channel's existence and this video's existence. Kind of want to build up a Fighting Fantasy community. There is a Facebook group for the channel, but you can go there and we can discuss Fighting Fantasy there as well. So yeah, because I don't know whereabouts I want to share this from to promote it. So if you can help me out, guys, that'll be lovely. But until the next video, guys, take care.